In a single day, Americans produce approximately 4.5 pounds of solid waste. This adds up to around 1 ton of trash per year. In order to save resources and protect our environment, we need to rethink the way that we reduce, reuse, and recycle. Recycling is defined as using materials that would normally go to waste and transforming them into another useful product. Recycling is not a new thing, and I think we've reached a point in society where most people agree that recycling is good and something we should be doing. Most of us learned about recycling as early as kindergarten. Bill Nye the Science Guy says, if you want grown-ups to recycle, just tell their kids the importance of recycling and they will be all over it. Humans have been recycling for thousands of years. Nature has been recycling itself since the beginning of time. We've all heard the slogan, reduce, reuse, and recycle. But do people really think about it in their everyday lives? Most of us think that separating our glass, paper, plastic, and aluminum into our recycling bin and setting it by the curb for pickup is enough, but there is reason to believe that it is not. In fact, we may be doing more harm than good. Curbside recycling in itself is a manufacturing process that impacts our environment with pollution. Recycling some of the products we put in our recycling bin actually uses more resources than manufacturing these products from raw material. Products like paper, cardboard, and aluminum cans are efficiently recycled and have a positive effect on our environment. However, manufacturing glass and plastic out of recycled materials produces more pollution and uses more natural resources than producing these products from scratch. Some of these materials are better off in the landfill, which poses another question. Are landfills getting too full? Are we running out of space to bury our trash? Rumors that the United States is running out of landfill space is a myth. Although the U.S. population is growing, waste deposited into landfills has dropped more than 7% since the year 2000. It's probably due to recycling awareness. Also, landfills of today are not the same as they were in generations past. Waste is more densely compacted and modern disposal facilities are much larger with highly engineered pollution controls and landfill gas recovery systems. More and more landfills are producing natural gas from decomposing waste, producing power and electricity. Or you could say that landfills of today are doing their own form of recycling. 40% of what we recycle from our homes end up in the landfill anyway, so our environment will benefit most if we learn what we should recycle and what should go in the trash. It's hard to argue that we should be putting more trash into the landfill even though there's plenty of space and some products cannot be efficiently recycled. The reason I say we need to rethink recycling is because the biggest problem that we face today is that we just consume way too much to begin with. The verbs in the slogan, reduce, reuse, and recycle, are listed in the order of importance. Instead of thinking that we are doing our part by using our curbside recycling service, we need to consider that as our last resort. Instead, our environment would benefit far more with the first two R's, reduce and reuse. Let's talk about reducing our consumption. We can reduce using paper products by using electronics instead of paper. Our school and many others have implemented the use of laptops, so we're doing a good job in our part on conserving paper. Our parents can opt for electronic paperless invoices and bank statements, reducing the amount of paper needed. We can buy in bulk from places like Sam's and Costco to reduce purchasing unnecessary packaging materials that are often made from paper and plastic. Individual serving sizes are a huge waste because of their packaging. Keurig coffee machines are very convenient. But look at this plastic in the packaging of 1 cup of coffee, as opposed to the better alternative of using a coffee maker that utilizes beans or grounds purchased in bulk. This container holds grounds for 90 cups of coffee and can be reused for storage of other items repeatedly when it's empty. Bottled water is a huge problem. Americans drink at least 1,500 bottles of water in 1 second. Then we are left with the empty bottle to throw away or recycle. Bottled water is about 2,000 times more expensive than drinking it straight from the tap. For those concerned that tap water is harmful, filtered water is easily obtained. Imagine the impact on our planet if we simply switched to filtered water and reusable containers instead. I conducted a survey of 60 of my classmates and teachers at Davis County High School to compile real-life data about consumers in my area. While some of us are doing a good job and having good intentions regarding our environment, some of us could do better. Of the 60 surveyed, 85% said they consumed 5 bottles of water in a week. 23% said 10 in a week, 18%, 15 in a week, and approximately 13% in a week. "75% of the 60 surveyed said they would consider filtered or tap water from reusable containers. 10% already do not drink bottled water at all. This is a Yeti cup. I carry this around during school and refill it at the water fountain. It holds a lot of water, keeps it ice cold all day, and I simply rinse it out and reuse it. It has paid for itself considering all of the money I would have spent on a bottled water while using it. Containers like this are a great alternative to bottled water. Another example of a huge waste is paper plates and plastic utensils and cups. It's common sense that we use washable dishes. We are lowering our impact on the environment by reducing the need to recycle or throw away our dishes. 58% of those surveyed said they use plastic plates and paper dishes. We can do better. Another way we can reduce the use of plastics is by using the reusable grocery bags when we shop. We are reducing the use of plastic bags while reusing a cloth bag over and over again. Reuse is our second R. It is my favorite of all of the R's. Here are a few more R's that fall into the reuse category: resurface, reupholster, repaint, refinish, and make something old new again. There are so many ways that we can take old items that we no longer use and repurpose them into items that we love. Upcycling is another term for this. I decided to interview a local business owner that does this for a living, Joanne Bernard, owner of JB Interior Reflections, said, "I love taking something that was destined for the trash and making it into something totally different that someone will love for years to come. I always try to look at things not for what they are, but for what they can become. I also love the painting part. It gets my creative juices flowing." Here are a few before and after pictures of amazing items that she has created of old things. Visit JB Interior Reflections on Facebook for more, or visit Joanne at her booth at Preservation Station. I wanted to try my own hand at upcycling something that we had around the house that was no longer in use. Out of an old picture frame, some fabric scraps, some old cabinet pulls, and some spray paint, I created this tray that I absolutely love. I didn't have to use any tools, and this project is an example that even beginners can upcycle old things with just a little imagination. Donating to charities is another way that we can reuse old items. Many people are already doing this and don't even know that they're helping our environment by doing so. 92% of the people I surveyed said that they often donate to charities. We can go a step further with damaged clothing items that are unworthy of the goodwill. An old, ugly wool sweater, even if it has a hole in it, can be recycled into a fabulous pair of mittens. Here are a pair of mittens that I wear all of the time and I've owned for about 4 years now. I wear them at skating and they keep my hands toasty while I'm in the ice-cold rink. Not all of us are handy people, but we can do our part in recycling by supporting people like Joanne and the lady that I purchased these mittens from. I hope that I've convinced you to rethink the way that you reduce, reuse, and recycle. Even the smallest things in our everyday life can have a huge impact on our environment. Reducing what we use is key. Reusing items that can be repurposed is a wonderful and interesting way to spare our Earth's natural resources while enjoying something beautiful and one of a kind, and recycling as a last resort. With our curbside recycling bin should be used sparingly for aluminum, paper, and cardboard.